I did. I bit the bullet, Kyle. I maxed out the Charizard.
Yeah.
I did. Yes.
You maxed it out, or you
I
took it?
maxed it. No, I maxed it out all the way. The 15, 13, 10, it was not the move, and I am ashamed. But I'm using him. He's got his Air Slash, still using Overheat as his charge move. Because even though I maxed him out, I couldn't bring myself to Elite TM him. Explain my brain to me, brother. I don't understand.
Can't do that. Well, Elite TM is harder to get than Candy.
Yeah, but I've got like 20 of them. Like, it's fine.
You're right.
Who cares? Right? Like,
yeah, it's a hard battle, and also they broke it for like 6 hours yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, like for whatever reason, it was one-shotting all Kanto Pokemon.
Put in the Cants and Kanto. Oh my god.
You're tuned into the GOCast podcast, your one-stop shop for updates, news, tips, and community in the world of Pokemon Go. Thank you for listening.
It's been a Mawile. Remember Mega Evolutions? Get up to speed before Mega Mawile Raid Day.
This area is getting mighty wild. I tell you what, global too. And more on this episode of GOCast. Hello and welcome to the GOCast podcast, episode 302. It is October 5th, a Saturday afternoon. We are coasting right behind, or drafting right behind Sawaddle Community Day here. This is when we had time to record this week. Kyle, thank you for your flexibility again. Appreciate it. I'm your host, Chris. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Kyle. I should probably introduce you before I talk to you.
Hiya.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. Doing good.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Whoa. Ring the bells. Godmore calls for aid. Whoa.
I said that to somebody at work the other day, and they had the same reaction. So if anyone thinks that it's just something that I do on the show, it's not. My coworkers feel the same way. So,
well, that is good to hear that you are good. All right. So we set some goals last week, and this is going to be a full show like normal. We're going to probably cut a couple of corners because we are looking to get out of here before our community day is too far gone. Because I need my Sawaddle. Kyle less so. He could probably keep going. He doesnn't care about Sawaddle nearly as much as I do.
I got other things to do, like play more World of Warcraft.
My man, hey, he came back. Oh man, World of Warcraft has been stealing a lot of our mind share lately. Yeah. Let's just say, but hey, let's check in with how Pokemon Go has been going, if you will. Let's take a look at our goals from last week. So we've had a few extra days because we pushed our timing back. I had a short trip to Vegas for work. It was not nearly as fun as it might sound. I was there for 22 hours.
So fun.
I don't think I've told you any of this, Kyle, but we had a short little story, I suppose. I was there with my boss. It was the two of us on a shoot, right? And we had to like record like 4 people to give their talks. It was we were there for a wound care convention. And we were going to stay at another hotel across town, but we had gotten a hotel room, like a big one, in order to set up like a studio and a pseudo studio and to shoot these videos. And it was getting really late, and we had to get up at 3:30 the next morning to go to the airport. And I ended up having to just crash on the couch in the room that we were in. They tried to I called for a rollaway bed. They tried to give it to us at 2 a.m. after I ordered it at 8 p.m.
Oh my gosh.
I was like finally asleep, and then they're like banging on the door, ringing the bell. I'm like, oh my gosh, like no. So anyway, suffice to say, I'm pretty tired still, if you can believe it. But anyway, that's the main reason why we're recording later. So I appreciate, Kyle, again, like I said, your flexibility. But let's see if we can appreciate our goals from last week, shall we? You wanted to do the timed research for Sword. You picked the Sword path, did you not?
Yes, I did. I did do that, yes.
Oh, great. Okay. Did you evolve your shiny Galarian Weezing? Or into a Galarian Weezing? Sick. 300,000 experience?
I did do that.
And the collection challenges?
I didn't do that.
Did you not do the trade one, or did you just not do either?
Trade one. I did the other one.
The trade one was sneaky.
Yeah.
Very sneaky. Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, man, that's still pretty good, especially, we've had other things going on in our lives this week. 3 out of 4. Good work. For myself, a Shiny-zation, yes. Shout out to Unbreakable. Thank you very much for the raid invite. I got it off of that one. Evolve my Shadow Shiny Coughing. You betcha I did. I'm the proud owner of a Shiny Shadow Galarian Wheezing now. Very cool. It knows Tackle. How exotic. Collection challenges. I did do all of them. Big shout out to my sister for helping with the trading one. And the timed research. I did that for the event as well. So 4 out of 4 for me. That's good. We love that. It's been a while.
That's good. That's good.
Yes. And then a quick little shout out here before we actually get started for real. The GOCast Meetup 2024 is happening the end of this month, the 26th and the 27th. The RSVP page is going to be large. It's not going to be taken down. If you want to sign up and still show up, that's cool. But I need to start giving head counts to like restaurants and venues and stuff. So just be, it'll probably be okay. But that deadline I was talking about signing up, that's what this was for. So that'll be happening this week. So try to get that in as soon as possible if you can. But if you're not sure if you can come until like next week or whatever, please still feel free to come out. We would love to see you all the same. And then just communicate with us either through email or if you're a patron in the Discord or whatever the case might be. We'd love to see you. A good amount of people have signed up. It's going to be a fun one this year for sure. Okay, let's get going here because we've got some news to cover for sure. So without further ado, let's hop into it. Yo, what up? It's the news. Okie dokie. Under Kyle's guidance, this first one is going to be short. He reminded me that this is identical to the other one that we had. This is the Daily PokéCoin Bounty Part 2. It's the same deal as the Part 1 was. You buy the ticket, and then you get some bonuses for the month, like 3 times experience first catch and first spin. The upped gifting, open up 50 gifts, collect 150 gifts every day, hold up to 40, right? All that stuff is there. And then there's daily bonus field research tasks that award 20 bonus PokéCoins. And then there's a timed research tied with it too. Complete that to get 200 bonus PokéCoins, 15,000 experience, and 50,000 Stardust. And if you buy it in the web store, you get some sort of bonus. So yeah, it's the same deal. This is either going to be just as much for you or just as much not for you as it was the last time. So purchase accordingly, I suppose. I don't know. Is there anything else left to say about this, Kyle?
I guess it just bears the question because like I assumed it was going to be identical. Like it made perfect sense. But there were people online who were like, I'm not buying it because I don't know what the other 2 parts are going to be. And like, that's very silly, but it also has a grain of understanding. If all 3 are identical, why not just tell us all 3? I don't understand.
Yeah, that's a good.
Why did it need 3 separate parts?
That's a good point. Maybe to give these jumping on and jumping off points.
I mean, but they could have said that it was all going to be the same directly in the first post and then made these afterwards to make, remind people, hey, here's part 2. Hey, here's part 3. It's just kind of weird.
It is kind of weird.
It makes sense for them to all be identical. That's all. It's just kind of weird.
I mean, maybe they were just, like I said, the jumping on and jumping off points for people to try to participate in this instead of just like, hey, all 3 are going to be the same. And then nobody talks about it. And it just like silently happens. This gives them an opportunity to announce it and create conversation and buzz. So from a marketing perspective, I get it.
But I think the one point is that a lot of people, or at least a not insignificant number of people, don't want to buy something if they don't know what's in it. There are people who have passed on masterwork researches because we don't know what's in it unless you go to a third-party source.
Yeah.
And like, there's no harm in saying everything in this regard. You're paying for it. Kind of thing,
there isn't, and I think further to that, on those blog posts, when they're selling you a ticket, it's going to be several pages of research. They should have like a blurred out thing you can click on that's like spoiler tagged or whatever in some way that shows you the steps, because you should, like you say, you should know what you're buying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You should be able to know what you're buying. I understand you don't want to. Also, that's a fair stance. You're buying it anyways because you want the research.
But yeah, no, it's the same. I think again, I think the takeaway is this is either going to be for you or not for you in the same way it was before. So, I mean, I can tell you if you're going to play every day and you're going to be on top of doing that bonus PokéCoin task, and you're the sort of person that was going to buy coins anyway, just go for it. You know, it will pay for itself in that regard. But if you play twice a week, if you're lucky and you're bad about research tasks, this is not going to be for your play style to get value out of it. It just isn't.
Yeah.
So do with that what you will. Right. Okay, let's move on to a real piece of news. Not to invalidate our PokéCoin bounty. Of course not. But hey, look at this. This is neat. Mega Mawile Raid Day. Boy. This is going to be happening on Saturday, October 12th from 2 to 5 p.m. local time. So this is going to be next Saturday as of this recording in a week. Wow. There's going to be a debut. If you could guess, it's Mega Mawile. Event bonuses, the remote raid pass limit will increase to 20 from Friday, October 11th at 5 p.m. PDT to Saturday, October 12th at 8 p.m. PDT, which means that if you have many friends in other time zones, you could potentially do 40. If you are good about hopping in invites from a different time zone the day prior, it will then reset for you the next day so you could do 40 remote raids if you so please. Just a reminder, this is Mega Mawile, though. So let that inform your decision making around how many you're going to do.
But shiny.
But shiny. You're right. 40. Sign me up. Receive up to 5 additional free raid passes from spinning gym photo discs during the event for a total of 6, because you get one for the day. Increased chance of encountering shiny Mawile from Mega Raids. In the web store, there's going to be a Mega Mawile Raid Day Ultra Ticket box for $4.99 US. Dollar reduce. And then the web store deal is going to be there starting October 7th at 10 a.m. PDT, 3 days before the ticket is available in the in-game shop. So that is going to be available in 2 days from our time of recording. There's going to be an event ticket, as there normally is for these raid days, for $5. That seems to be the price that they've set for these. That's okay. 8 additional raid passes from spinning photo discs, gym photo discs, for a total of 14. Increased chance to get Rare Candy XL from raid battles. 50% more XP from raid battles, and 2 times Stardust from raid battles. And our guidance with this, I'm going to speak for both of us, Kyle, remains, as it always has been, that if you are going to do all of these raids anyway, get the ticket, you get more value out of it. If you're only going to do like 4, the ticket's probably not worth it.
No, the ticket's bad.
Yeah. But are we excited, Kyle?
I'm not. I think if I didn't have shiny Mawile already, I'd probably be more interested in this.
Sure.
But Mega Mawile has nothing going for it in Go. So it's not to be too negative. It exists to sell an event at this point.
Yeah. It'd fill out the decks.
Yeah. I would have liked to have seen this at the start of Mega releases, not at the end.
Yeah, unless they had been holding on to it for something more extravagant or to fill out another event where it would have been
like,
oh, interesting.
I'm gonna have the same opinion when we get Mega Sharpedo and Mega Camerupt.
Yeah.
Like those should have come out first, because that way they wouldn't have been dwarfed by Kyogre and Groudon existing. Yeah,
for real. If they haven't held on to those for some Magma Aqua event, it's going to be a crime.
Oh man. But like it has to be a good Magma Aqua event. It can't just be like here's a Magma and Aqua theme spawns and then here's the 2 Megas. You can't do that. No, I'll be so sad. Yeah. It's fine. If you want to do a raid day, it's fine. You can probably solo Mega Mawile with a Primal Groudon. So
yeah,
like not too much stress in the difficulty of getting that done. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it is a little hampered in Pokemon Go. It has an ability in the main series games that gives it like double attack or 50% more attack or something like that, right?
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, it gets huge power, which doubles its attack.
That's right. And so this is a bummer because it's not getting anything to compensate for that. It's not getting like a new move. It's not like anything like that. So it is, as Kyle reports it to be, It is kind of a filler.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a Mawile fan, and they are out there, it's a cool Pokemon. This will still be exciting, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna go do it because I like a raid day.
I mean, I love Mawile. Like, it's a fun Pokemon that is neat, and the Mega's neat. It just doesn't have a lot going for it in Go.
Yeah, true. So, make your own decisions, folks. We'd be happy to hear about how it went if you chose to dive in. I know I'm going to if I'm available. I should be. So, yeah.
I'll do a couple.
Yeah. There's no harm in doing a few. I like Mega Raids. They're cool. Okay. The Wild Area is next. This is a new event that they're introducing this year called Wild Area. It's going to have an in-person and a global component to it, much like GoFest and GoTour do. This is going to be in Fukuoka, Japan, and then a global version. So let's talk about the in-person version first, which is going to be from November 16th through the 17th in Fukuoka, Japan. This year, the Go Wild Area features the debut of Toxtricity, the punk Pokemon, which is exciting in its own right for a lot of people. Attendees will encounter electric and poison-type Pokemon throughout Maizuru Park as they enjoy photo opportunities, giveaways, and more. Are you an expert trainer? Put your skills to the test by trying to catch rare and powerful mighty Pokemon in the wild, or use the new Go Safari Ball to improve your odds. So there's a few things going on here. We're going to work through the details, and then we'll circle back and discuss little bits and pieces. So importantly, first and foremost, they are debuting Toxtricity and Dynamax Toxtricity. So there will be max battles around for Toxtricity. They're introducing a new type of Pokemon called Mighty Pokemon. This year's Pokemon Go Wild Area will have plenty of electric and poison type Pokemon, but that's not all. Trainers may also find themselves in encounters with unusually powerful opponents known as Mighty Pokemon. All Mighty Pokemon have some shared traits. They are more likely to have high attack, defense, and HP ratings, more likely to be XL or XXL, and will be more difficult to capture. Trainers may even encounter shiny versions of these mighty Pokemon if they're lucky. Using the new Go Safari Ball when trying to capture these Pokemon will greatly improve your chance of success. There's going to be special Pokemon appearing in the wild, electric and poison types, and a slew of mighty Pokemon. I'm going to link this in the show notes as we always do. I'd recommend going and take a look at the lists of the spawns. There's a lot of them. The electric and poison types they've chosen seem rather par for the course, but also like not bad at all. Lots of shiny chances as well. And the mighty Pokemon are like Luxray and other Pokemon that you would want to get a mighty version of. So it looks like they knew what they were doing for sure. But here, kind of like secondarily notable here, but this is important. Origin Form Palkia and Dialga will be in 5-star raids as well. We haven't seen them come back since Tour. And a lot of people were asking when we might see them again. Will we see them again? Right. And here's your answer. The answer is yes. They're going to fill it out in events like this, which is cool. There's bonuses and features of this in-person event. There's an increased shiny chance. There's a half egg hatch distance. Lure modules last 2 hours. Special 10-kilometer eggs, 2 times catch candy. Up to 9 raid passes from spinning photo discs or gyms. Up to 6 special trades and reduced Stardust costs for trades. Kind of the usual parameters for bonuses for these sorts of events. Featured attacks will also be available. You can give your Venusaur Frenzy Plants, your Pidgeot Gust, your Poliwrath Counter. If you have a Gyarados, you can teach him Aqua Tail. Feraligatr can learn Hydro Pump. Hydro Pump? Did I misread that? There's no way, right? That's got to be Hydro Cannon.
Where is...
So if you go to their website, this is good. Well, I'll keep this in too. So if you go to their website and you're trying to find more about the global area or the wild area, it's going to be at the top. There's not going to be a blog post for it in latest news. It's at the top, much like the GoFest stuff was. Go to Go Wild Area, that button, and you can go and find more information there.
You did type it wrong.
I did type it wrong. Thank God. So this is good. This is good news. That would have been wild if it was Hydro Pump instead. Hydro Cannon for Feraligatr. Good news. Luxray can also know Psychic Fangs. So that's pretty much it for the in-person version. There's going to be a global version as well that you can buy a ticket to. It's going to be $11.99 to buy a ticket. It's going to be November 23rd and 24th. The 2-day event. Both days will be from 10 a.m. to 6:15 local time. They're largely the same. They're just kind of split over the 2 days. The mighty Pokemon pool that can appear are going to be split in half. Some will show up on Saturday and some will show up on Sunday. So if you're the sort of person who likes to complete everything and get everything done, you will have to play 2 days, at least in some capacity. There doesn't seem to be an extra shiny chance or hatch dissonant reduction as bonuses if you are free to play, but if you buy the ticket, you get all those bonuses and then some. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So what are our thoughts on this? And Kyle, I think I'm more interested in hearing from you what you think about this in comparison to its other similarly tiered events like GoFest and Tour and everything else like that. Because this is definitely more than a safari zone or a city safari, right?
Is it?
Yeah. Increased shiny chance and all these bonuses and stuff like that, and it being featured in a particular park. This feels much more like a tour or a fest than a city safari or safari zone does, at least on paper.
I don't know. I mean, I think on paper this looks like a safari zone versus the city safari, which don't get me started on the ridiculous naming of that. But it looks like a GoFest that's only electric and poison. And if that was the case, it'd be like, whatever, that's kind of boring. But Origin Form, Palkia, and Dialga being in the event is a huge deal.
Yeah.
Overall. And, they introduced a huge fan favorite Pokemon. So,
yes.
And a new, we'll say it's not a mechanic, but it's a feature with Mighty Pokemon. I hope the base is like 10-10-10 or something, like a raid or egg.
Yeah, that'd be
nice. If it's like 666, like a shadow or something, that is not going to be it.
Yeah, I would hope it'd be a 10-10-10 base. Honestly, that would be great.
And we glanced over the Safari Ball because we don't really know anything yet, but like that's potentially really cool, potentially really annoying.
Another ball,
how it's executed.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's nothing negative about it. I think it's good. There's one thing negative about it, and it's a trend, so it's bothering me.
Okay.
Dynamax Toxtricity. We have gotten. Sorry, I'm doing math. Hang on. 11 Dynamax Pokemon so far, I believe. Yep. Maybe 12. And 7 of them have Gigantamax forms.
Haven't we only gotten 10?
We've gotten 6 starters.
6 starters. Phalanx.
Squirtle,
Wooloo, Phalanx, and then Beldum.
And now Toxtricity.
So that'll be the 11th.
That'll be the 11th, yes.
Yes.
Because I was counting him because hence. And 7 of them have Gigantamax forms.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I see what you're getting at.
Which means that, realistically speaking, they're not worth doing these for because you will not be able to Gigantamax them. That's just how it worked in the main series game. Based on the track record right now, that's how it's working in this game. That's very frustrating.
Yeah.
I love Toxtricity. Huge fan. I love this Pokemon so much. But I don't really want to Dynamax raid it except to get it for my decks, potentially. But it's also going to be in 4-star raids. And those 4-star raids are actually going to be really easy because it has a 4 times weakness to ground. So your Primal Groudon is going to tear through it. So I know that the trend with who they're releasing into Dynamax battles is it's frustrating at this point. And also Dynamax Toxtricity is going to probably be really hard because we have no ground types. We only have Metagross for Psychic type. Like that's going to be a hard Dynamax battle to do.
It could be that we might get, because it's only October 5th, right? Mm-hmm. And this is happening in the middle of November at the earliest. Global even later. It's at the end of November. We might see new Max Pokemon before these even come out.
I mean, we probably will. There'll probably be new Max Pokemon at the start of November because we got the new set at the start of October.
Yeah.
So, maybe we get like, I don't know, Excadrill or something, Drillbur,
Diggersby.
Yeah, no, actually.
Well, see, my reason for saying Diggersby is, I guess Excadrill would work too. If you think about how they've been introducing these max ones. Like Phalanx is a fighting type, so it would have to be something that is weak to fighting type, right? You'd think.
I guess, but yeah, I mean that's fair. I'm not going to use Phalanx though.
Have you done a
I have
Dynamax?
not.
Oh, okay.
I set it for my goal for today to go do one though.
It's a little hit or miss. I had one that was easy. I bit the bullet, Kyle. I maxed out the Charizard.
Yeah.
I did. Yes.
You maxed it out, or you took it?
Maxed it. No, I maxed it out all the way. The 15, 13, 10, it was not the move, and I am ashamed. But I'm using him. He's got his Air Slash, still using Overheat as his charge move. Because even though I maxed him out, I couldn't bring myself to Elite TM him. Explain my brain to me, brother. I don't understand.
Can't do that. Well, Elite TM is harder to get than Candy.
Yeah, but I've got like 20 of them. Like, it's fine.
You're right.
Who cares? Right? Like,
yeah, it's a hard battle, and also they broke it for like 6 hours yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, like for whatever reason, it was one-shotting all Kanto Pokemon.
Putting the cans in Kanto. Oh my god!
Yeah, so I don't know, but it was genuinely actually broken for a few hours.
Oh, that's harsh, man. That's harsh. Okay, well, I do want to take. I know we said we weren't going to go through the list, but I do want to take a moment to take a look at the mighty Pokemon that are going to be available here, because I think we are really kind of glossing over mighty Pokemon. It could be impactful.
I guess one thing worth saying before you say any Pokemon, all of these are shiny eligible according to the website.
Yes,
which is very notable because you have evolved Pokemon like Toxapex on here or Scolipede,
Tyrantrum.
Like there's Pokemon that you can't get shiny right now.
Yeah, so let me just go through the list really quick because there's 19 on here, I think. Venusaur, Pidgeot, Poliwrath, Golem, Gyarados, Dragonite, Feraligatr, Ampharos, Luxray, Garchomp, Electivire, Mamoswine, Scolipede, Galvantula, Electros, Dragalge, Tyrantrum, Toxapex, and Overquill. Overquill is a great inclusion. So yeah, all of them can be shiny eligible, like Kyle just said. So yeah, it's kind of like those are like a lot of these are budget picks, that are like, hey, this is really good in lieu of a legendary that would be better when we talk about in terms of like functionality and usefulness, practicality, all that good stuff. So that's a good list, I think. What do you think, Kyle?
I think it's like 70% of a good list. There are some very strange choices on here.
Golem.
Why is Golem on here? Why is Electros on here?
Well, community day.
That makes it worse. It's literally useless, especially because Ampharos is right there, which is better, and then Electivire is right there, which is better than Ampharos. I don't know.
Have you checked Electros's usefulness since the big change to the DPS stuff? Or no?
I refuse to believe it's changed.
It'd be so funny if it was like top 10, and you'd have to apologize to Electros.
But like it has there's Garchomp, there's Electivire, there's Mamoswine on here. Those three are huge. Those are great for people to try and more easily get hundos of, depending on how it spawns, what the IVs are like. Dragonite, Gyarados, Venusaur, all great choices. The problem is there's a lot of like mid options here that also might have some PvP use, but you don't want a mighty Pokemon for PvP. So
that's right. Well, unless it's Master League.
Yeah, but I don't think most of these have.
I don't think any of these. So, maybe Dragonite.
I mean, maybe
Garchomp.
The ones I already listed: Electivire, Garchomp, Mamoswine, Dragonite might have play. I think Garchomp doesn't.
Does Tyrantrum have any play in PvP?
I don't think so. It's just Rock Dragon. Does it know Meteor Beam? Maybe if it knows Meteor Beam, it can do something.
It might. Who knows, man? Yeah, I don't know. It's just another thing to keep track of. And what I'm really hoping is, and there's been a lot of interesting conversations going on in our Discord about
it has no use.
Oh, great. It's cool though. There's been a lot of interesting conversation around Dynamax Pokemon and people liking or disliking it. And I can't remember who said it, but somebody was talking about how from like the feature is fine. Max battles are cool, right? But it's another thing to store in your bag. It's
This is
another
also
thing
true,
to keep track of. And I'm hoping that Mighty Pokemon aren't like that, although I think it sounds like they're going to be. They're going to be probably treated like XXL and XXS. And like when you try to transfer them, they might be like, oh, there's Mighty Pokemon in here. Are you sure? So the collectors and all of us will have to make room and come to terms with that as well. But we'll see.
Yeah. Electros is not like absolutely horrendous, I guess.
Okay.
But it's worse than Luxray. So
okay,
there's
well,
that,
that's fine. That's fine.
I guess.
Yeah, so that's interesting. And I mean, I want to talk more about Mighty Pokemon, but at the same time, I don't really know a whole lot about it besides what they just kind of said.
We can talk more about it after Global for sure if it ends up being significant enough, you know?
In a month and a half.
Like it has the potential to be great, but it also has the potential to be a nothing burger kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, well, I think that's kind of it for the news then, y'all. And we're going to go over Gear Up this week and Pokelore. So when we come back from a quick little break, we're going to be in PokéPoll land.
And we're back with last week's PokéPoll, which was, how do you feel about Team Go Rocket takeover events? First response from Artemis Dragon. They said, "Aw, dudes, it's too much. I'm a fan of Team Rocket, but this is overkill and laziness. I struggle to see why we still need events for Shadow Pokemon. Team Rocket is already available every day via balloons, Pokestops, and the ever controversial Shadow Raids that have completely diluted the already overcrowded raid pool. So making them even more available just doesn't make any sense. Also, TMing away frustration should be a regular thing now. Just putting that out there. And now we have a Galarian Expedition takeover. There's nothing Galarian about this filler event. I guess the featured Pokemon are in the Galar decks, but this is still just filler. Nobody ever looked at a Boldore and said, hey, yeah, Galar hype, baby. My head. I don't know what statistical data Niantic is looking at, but please have a dialogue with influencers who are non-biased about what they think of all of this Team Rocket stuff. If you're unwilling to go down this route, let us block Team Rocket balloons and Pokestops from appearing in settings. I beg of thee. Because again, it's too much, dude. Peace, y'all, and don't look up. Just don't. I would love the option to stop them from appearing in Pokestops.
Really?
Yeah. Like, when I'm going to do a Rocket Grunt, I'm going to do them. Like, it's not a big deal. But when I don't want to do a Rocket Grunt and there's a stop in the area where I'm playing, it's just annoying. It's just
because when you spin it pops up. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm going to go out and play for Sawaddle in, an hour. And there's going to be 2 or 3 Rocket Grunts in the park that I play at. Every time there is. And I just have to not click them. Have to try not to click them when I'm clicking on the Pokemon. And it's just annoying.
If they didn't pop up and interrupt your game flow, like if you had to click into the stop and then click like the rocket icon or something, that I would feel it differently. But
Agreed.
I agree with you. Otherwise,
let me minimize the rockets at the very least.
Yeah.
And it's especially bad when you have a rocket takeover event where they're literally everywhere.
Yes. Crawling on the walls like box elder bugs in the Midwest.
Oh my God.
Are they bad for you right now, by the way?
No, thankfully.
Oh, dude, they're all
not around me, but like I seem to get lucky around where I live. So
I'll take a couple of pictures. It's horrendous. It would make your skin literally crawl.
Yeah, no, thank you. All right. Next response from Trip Tando, they said, I actually really like them. I really like doing rockets in general. I do think there's room for improvement for them, though. I don't see the purpose of repeating a leader shiny now that they can be shiny from grunts. There's so many Pokemon yet waiting for their shiny form, let alone shadow shiny. I also think it would be a prime opportunity to have the Jesse and James balloons return at times, even if it would just be for a week every 3 months.
Yeah.
If every balloon would be Jesse and James, unless you have a radar, I would love that. I also always try to collect 12 eggs and hatch them on a star piece for a solid amount of Stardust. These events help massively. TLDR, I love rocket events. I go out to grind them on foot nonstop while the Go++ takes care of spinning and catching. Much love, Tristan. And see, just like that, there's all kinds. Like there's all kinds. Absolutely. I could never, personally.
Couldn't be Kyle.
Couldn't be me. That's for sure. But, and also, I don't think we're going to see Jesse and James anytime soon.
I don't think so either. I mean, I know we talked about this briefly on the show before in the past, but there is a clear separation of the types of media in Pokemon. Like for them to bring an anime based character like Jesse and James in their Meowth balloon, that is like a licensed deal internally with Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
So it would have to be like, I think the first time they came around, it was to promote a movie, I think. And so it'll be trotted out for that cross promotional stuff. I think more likely than not. You know, I'm speaking out of my depth here a little bit, but that's the understanding.
That said, double balloons could be a thing without Jesse and James. I'm just saying.
It's true.
Like, I don't know what you want to do with
true.
it, Niantic, but you could totally do that as a feature, and I think people would probably like it.
Yeah.
Give it a Niantic flair. Give it a Go flair. It doesn't have to be a Meowth balloon. I don't know. I'd have to
make it
more,
make it that Niantic like blimp thingy, but make it like Team Go Rockety.
We already have that for the advertisement balloon.
True. That's true. Yeah.
But yeah. The next response from Big Bird. They said, very much a love-hate relationship. I love the fact that you have to wait for these events to change your charge attack. Certainly adds an extra level to the game. But I hate the fact the grunt balloons always seem to be the same 3 or 4 grunts. It could just be me, but I verbally complain about it every time. Lastly, I love the chance to get a solid shadow from Giovanni. The balloons definitely feel like they have a bias to the more common stuff.
Sure. Yeah.
I couldn't tell you the last time I saw a winning is winning balloon or whatever that one is called.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that the like the Snorlax one or the Dragon?
Yeah, that's like the
one,
triple Snorlax, I think, or something like that.
Snorlax,
or maybe that's the Snorlax Dragonite, something or other. But it's one of the annoying ones.
Yes, sir.
Next thoughts from Maxitron. They said, I'm indifferent to them as a concept, but I don't like the execution. I don't mind having a time when there's more rockets around. I don't like that I can't TM frustration away except for during these events. My thing is that Shadow Pokemon have always felt unfinished. As it is, Shadows do more damage and take more damage. When Shadow and Purified Pokemon were first announced, it read that Purified Pokemon would do more damage to Shadow Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, still technically true. Any Pokemon does more damage to Shadow Pokemon. Not just Purified ones. And they don't do more damage as Purified Pokemon versus Shadow Pokemon. Aside from a cheaper power-up cost and the seldom viability of return. Okay, but Kyle did point out return Gengar. But, I mean, return has some use, just not in PvE usually. There's not a huge reason to purify Pokemon and sacrifice that 20% power boost. Even the Apex signature moves on the purified versions didn't get beefed up enough to offset being purified. So takeover events feel like they're trying to make something important that should only be the halfway point for a Shadow Pokemon. That Shadow Pokemon should be more valuable because purified Pokemon don't have value yet. Hopefully this makes enough sense.
Yep. Yeah, we've been waiting. We've been waiting for them to make purified Pokemon more powerful against Shadow Pokemon. It would be such a good dynamic.
Yeah.
It would.
Give purified Pokemon anything. Like...
I mean, the cheaper power-up cost is a big deal.
Okay, but Shadow Pokemon have a more expensive power-up cost. It's the same... They just flip the mechanic. Like, it's not... It doesn't count. Doesn't count.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what sort of conversations they've had with their balance teams or not, but it's not what was on the box. That's for sure. It was initially sold to us as a little bit different than it is.
Yeah, I would love to see some value brought to purified Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Some real value.
It's like the aerial combat on the back of the Burning Crusade box.
20 years later. 18
Same
years later.
vibe. Same vibe.
Next response is in the form of an email from Eric, and they said, "Hi guys, I love the Team Go Rocket takeover events. It's like Christmas every time those events are happening. I'm kind of obsessed with Shadow Pokemons, and I have defeated 11,000 plus grunts."
Oh my god.
Y'all don't want to know how many grunts I've beaten.
7.
Probably like
12. Yeah, probably 500.
Well, I had to do the level 45 challenge, so I had to do at least that much.
Oh,
and I didn't buy any of that.
True.
I'm also rocking the Rainbow Grunt outfit. I play a lot of PvP, or at least like to collect good Shadow PvP Pokemon for the Great League, so that could be an explanation. Anyway, sorry for the long email. Thank you for the great podcast, Eric. That's a lot.
I'm not even at 3,000. I'm at 2795.
What's the platinum?
Platinum's 2K.
Wow. My game is loading. It was not open. Sorry.
That's okay. I took advantage of the fact that you were reading.
Let me go all the way to the bottom.
All the way down.
I was close. 765.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, you're a ways off. Is that silver?
That is silver.
You never do them, huh?
I don't do them. Very, very infrequently.
Okay.
Don't care for them.
Well, that would explain why you didn't have a Shadow Shiny Coughing to evolve for this last event.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm also not chasing the 12K egg, so I'm not like... One of the things for me is that when I want to go out and do them, it feels like a chore to have to go find rockets at stops.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to go out and do rocket grunts, but I have to drive across town to hit grunt stop after grunt stop. Not interested in that.
And you're not interested in just doing like the balloon when you see it, because like you said, you want to go do it. You're going to go do it. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's not something I'm like, because I want to make space in my inventory for eggs and stuff like that, and like plan something like that. I'm just not interested, and that's okay. Doesn't need to be for me. I know that. Doesn't make the system worse necessarily. That's why I just want to be able to hide it when I don't want to do it. All right. Next response comes in the form of an email from Colton. They said, "Dear GOCast, I am deeply sorry for the long email." It's supposed to be at the end. First off, I would like to say thank you for providing so much fun content and amazing news recaps for Pokemon Go. It has helped me a lot to know when certain events are happening, what to look out for, and the best way to play in events.
Woo!
It is also super helpful to know what Pokemon to hold off on evolving or spending resources on. Back in 2020, I caught a shiny Shadow Coughing, and the first mistake that I made was purifying it because at the time, I thought that shadows were bad. The next mistake I made was about a week ago when I was going through my Pokemon deciding what I wanted to do with all of them. I saw the Coughing and decided to evolve it into Wheezing. I was happy with this until the next day when I saw a video that was talking about how you can evolve Coughings into Galarian Wheezing during the event.
Yeah.
Oh no. So this podcast is awesome to help things like this not happen, and I am regretting not listening to it before I evolved my shiny, sadly purified Coughing.
Man.
Also, I have one short thing that I just saw that I would like to share before getting my PokéPoll answer. I was checking on my Pokemon in gyms and saw that the gym had glitched. It said that my Porygon Z had been in the gym for 19,997 days, 1 hour, 46 minutes, and 23 seconds. After doing the math, this adds up to about 54 years.
Yeah.
50 PokéCoins.
No, you already got your coins.
You already got you. Sorry, nothing for you today.
Too bad.
Now for the part that this email is actually supposed to be about, the PokéPoll answer to the question, how do you feel about Pokemon or about Team Go Rocket Takeover? My response is I have never looked forward to one and probably never will because I like raid bosses that I can solo and cool wild spawns. Thank you for taking the time to read this email, Colton. Yeah, that's also fair.
Yep. That is a wild glitch. That Porygon Z has seen some things. My gosh.
It time traveled for you. Fading for a Porygon Z, I suppose.
Yeah. I guess like kind of, yeah.
It went into one of those zones from Legends Arceus. I can't remember the name off the top of my head now.
Oh.
Time distortions.
There you go. Oh gosh, that's funny. I love that. Thank you very much for that email. We've got a voicemail here from Sarah Amanda answering this PokéPoll as well.
Hey GoCast, it's Sarah Amanda here. Okay, so I didn't realize the nuance in the PokéPoll question. So rocket takeovers during another event, I guess it's overall okay. Like, I kind of forgot the last one was technically during Adventure Week. I mean, I kind of knew and I kind of forgot. Because, I mean, like, personally, I only cared about the rocket, like, oh, great, there's new Shadow Shinies, and I'm going to try to fight as many rockets as I can, to fight as many leaders as I can, and that was all I was focused on. So I, didn't really pay attention to the adventure portion, although I think it was kind of lackluster compared to past adventure weeks. But anyway,
bingo.
That being said, I mean, it seems on paper like a good idea because there's plenty of people who don't like fighting rockets. And so if they're not interested in fighting rockets, maybe the other non-rocket portion of the event would be appealing. I mean, maybe not. Maybe the adventure week was not great. But anyway, sounds good. I wasn't expecting to have another rocket event this season because it had been once per season for like a very, very long time. This will be our second one this season. So that's exciting. And the fact that usually Rocket Takeover means usually new Shadow Shinies get put in the leader's roster. That's more Shadow Shinies that get added to the pool, since now we can just catch them off regular grunts once a leader has had it as shiny. So that's nice. And of course, more opportunities to TM away frustration. That's always great. Although, yeah, why can't we just do this more often? Like, or maybe we get like an adventure effect that like would let us do this whenever. That'd be pretty cool too. Wink, wink. So, usually while these rocket takeover events I don't think they're ever a week long. They're like shorter than that, which sounds like you would think I would want it to be as long as possible, so I can have as many chances to fight so many leaders. But honestly, they're so intense. Like I usually fight hundreds during a takeover, and that's also just me being at home on the weekend, not even playing all that much on the weekend. But I'm usually just kind of relieved they're done, so I can just take a rocket break. And that, yeah, I guess technically this is the third time this season we've had a rocket event, because we also had one, we had the takeover, but we also had that weird one where we had to fight grunts because it was helping one of the team leader goals. We're doing some kind of global challenge. I don't know. I don't really remember. Anyway, that's a bit much. So I'm glad this event's not a whole week. Anyway, that's all. Peace. Sarah Amanda.
The Triumphant Together thing, Kyle?
But that wasn't this. Was that this season? No. That was the end of last season.
It was the end of last season. Yeah, but it's close enough.
This is the first one for this season. That's
this
why.
This is, yeah.
Okay. I'm losing my mind. I'm what's actually happened this season versus not.
But I think what Sarah Amanda is getting at is that they've all been pretty close to each other. I cannot fathom doing hundreds of grunts a day during any Go Rocket event. I don't care if it's balloon after balloon after balloon. I couldn't do that. That's not me. So hats off to you, Sarah Amanda. I hope that you are getting all the shiny shadows that you need, or shundos or shadundos, whatever it is that you're hunting. Yeah. Cool. Thank you very much for that voicemail. Appreciate it.
For this week's PokéPoll, we have, what are your initial impressions of mighty Pokemon in Pokemon Go?
We kind of already gave this, unfortunately.
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah.
I think they have a lot of potential. For me, it's going to depend heavily on what the IV floors are.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's really kind of the big thing. I hope they have a cool animation. But also at the same time, like I was saying before, I would really like it if they didn't clog up my bag as much. And then we're going to have this whole I want we have to make, okay, here's the real problem with it. Okay. I think it's cool, except we're going to have to come up with another term for mighty hundo percent.
Yep.
Like a mundo. Dr. Mundo.
Shiny, mighty hundo Pokemon.
Shiny, mighty hundo.
Shmundo.
Shmundo. I kind of like Shmundo.
No, I think actually my biggest thing for me is when will we see them again? I know it hasn't happened once yet, but that's a huge thing for me. Because if this is like, hey, you get it for this event, and then like maybe one event a year or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like if this is not now a feature for every event, it's a missed opportunity because they continued this concept at least into Scarlet and Violet with the fixed Terra type Pokemon and stuff like that on the map.
Yes.
So
yes.
And of course, there was Alpha Pokemon, which we kind of skipped over, but this is like sort of also Alpha Pokemon, so like that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my big thoughts for Mighty Pokemon at the moment.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pretty much echo all of that. It really does depend on how they're handled. I'm over here still waiting for Apex Pokemon to come back in some way. So yeah, I definitely agree. If this becomes a staple in live events and it's global alternatives, I would be really, really happy to see more stuff like this. I mean, like just a better chance of getting a hundo. And even if it's not a hundo, the fact that it's mighty, right? And therefore more special is cool. You know, despite all my complaints about collection stuff clogging up my bag, that's a me problem, I guess. But yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it's handled. But we would love to hear what everybody else has to say about this. So if you, dear listener, have an answer to this week's PokéPoll question, which is, what are your initial impressions of Mighty Pokemon in Pokemon Go? You can answer when we post the PokéPoll question on X. If you're a patron of ours in our Discord, we have a channel dedicated to it. If you're listening to Spotify, to us through Spotify, you can leave a comment on the episode. If you're watching on YouTube, hello, YouTube. You can leave a comment. You can also send us an email to mail@gocastpodcast.com or send us a voicemail by calling 262-586-7717. And speaking of emails and voicemails, Kyle, this might be a shorter episode, but that doesn't mean we don't have things to talk about in the what section?
It's time for emails.
Yes, and a few voicemails as well. We're going to start with our voicemails. Hey, we've got another one here from Sarah Amanda. Let's do that.
Hey, GoCast, it's Sarah Amanda here. So, Zacian Raid Hour. I've been looking forward to this since they announced it, because Zacian, it hasn't been raid for 2 years. It's a Master League Pokemon, so people can find that exciting, and it's the shiny debut. All the casuals can find it exciting, and it's a pretty blue. It's pretty good. So I was planning to go pretty hard the full hour. And I have an in-game route that I made called Ambitious 25-minute Raid Hour, because, the idea is you would hit 7 gyms on this route, and then, when it's the second wave, you would walk the same path back. So you can get 14 raids done, theoretically. So I was expecting to do that. But we had a weird situation where gyms were blocked by other raids, and so we had to skip them, which was annoying. But then, because of the late hatchingness, we actually got a few extras. So I did 17 total for the full hour. Unfortunately, I didn't get a shiny, but it was still fun. And also, I managed to time getting a Mateo egg. I am so struggled to get a Mateo egg, but I'm trying to get that white striped shiny basculin, because why not?
Yeah.
So anyway, I managed to line that up because I had my auto spinner off. So after I walked the route, then I was like, okay, great. I just need to walk a little bit more to hatch the egg, and then I can be sure I talk to Mateo on the way back. A few random Mateo tips I've learned that I didn't know until I started carrying, because I was trying to get this egg. When you talk to Mateo and he's like, do you want to swap a gift? If you say no, then, or not now, then later on, like if you do another route, you'll see Mateo again. I didn't know. I thought it was only the first route for the day, so I would always just swap the first time. The next thing is something I learned the hard way, which is that if you do the swap with Mateo, if your item bag is full, that means you will not get an egg, even if you have an open egg slot. So if you were opening gifts or something like that, maybe you should be sure that you have deleted your items. So anyway, the egg I was walking to hatch so I would have room for the Mateo egg. It was a 7-kilometer egg I got the other day from Mateo, my very first Mateo egg, and it was a white stripe, not shiny, Basculin.
Oh.
That was exciting. My
okay.
first Mateo egg.
Close though.
Nice.
Maybe, maybe I'll get a shiny the next time. Probably not. Anyway, peace. Sorry, Amanda.
Sending you shiny Basculin vibes, Sarah Amanda.
Yep.
Gosh. Have you done any routes? Are there routes in the park you play at, Kyle?
There are, but like I don't navigate into the menu and do it when I'm playing in Community Day.
Yeah, it is a bit extra.
It's like for like, what am I doing it for? The Zygarde cell? Like,
Yeah, the Zygarde cell, the egg, the gift swap.
Yeah. No, there are a couple of routes, but I do one every once in a while. Not very often though.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't done a route in a long while. Let's just say a mall while, if you will. Anyway, let's hop into another voicemail here. This next one is from Tom.
Hi, Chris and Kyle. This is Tom in Brighton, England. I just wanted to send you guys a voice note just to say how much I enjoy your show. I've been listening for a few years, and I find it really good just to learn what's going on and find out about community opinion and your guys' opinion. So yeah, Chris, I love your positivity. I think you have an amazing voice. I always imagined you were like a film star because of your voice. Kyle, I love that you're not super unrealistically positive. In America, sometimes it sounds like everyone has to be super positive when they're not feeling super positive, and it comes across as fake. Not that Chris is like that, but Kyle,
Sure.
I enjoy the fact that you are happy to criticize things and be a bit more of an Eeyore kind of a character at times. That's how we all feel. But I would like to ask as well, Chris, how are you doing? We asked Kyle how he's doing, but Chris, we want to know how you're doing as well. And finally, and on your list of patron listeners, Drew 2 is your favorite listener. Why? Why is he your favorite listener? I've just always wondered. Thanks, guys. Bye.
All right. Well, to answer the Drew 2 question, Drew signed up with that as their name. So we are legally bound to read off the name of what you sign up for on the Patreon that he signed up as. Our favorite listener, Drew 2. One word.
That's his full username.
Yes. So, you could go in there and you could be a patron and change it to whatever you set it to whatever you want. It could be our least favorite listener, Drew 2, and just try to cancel them out, I guess. But yeah, that's the story there. And I'm doing okay.
Doing okay.
I'm doing okay. Yeah.
I think you're not doing very good right now.
No, I was telling Kyle before we got started, like every single time I travel, I get sick. It happens without fail. And I'm definitely like feeling it this morning. Or I was feeling it this morning. I guess it's the afternoon now. But my voice is about to go. I can feel it. I'm sure you can hear it. Boy, oh boy. So yeah, we're doing fine.
We're doing fine. See, no one can yell at me anymore.
I'll tell you what, Kyle. If we can get 6 out of 8 heroic bosses this week, I'll be doing really good.
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
Hopefully they're doing better.
Brood Twister is a handful, man. Holy cow. Anyway, thank you very much for the voicemail, and I do think Kyle fits the heel role rather well. Everybody loves Incineroar, and everybody loves Kyle.
Oh, it depends who you ask about whether they love Incineroar or not.
A lot of people love Incineroar.
It's as long as they don't play competitively.
Yeah. But I feel like they're like, oh, that darn Incineroar. It's in every team. It's not like they like hate it. They hate that it's always there, right? They don't dislike Incineroar per se.
Sure.
There's your fake positivity right there. Okay, we've got another voicemail. This one is from Crazy Cobra.
Hi, Chris and Kyle. I'm Crazy Cobra. I've sent in a voicemail before, but it's been a good amount of time, so can't blame me for not remembering. Admittedly, I haven't played Pokemon Go in a while, but when I discovered there was a new Pokemon card game app coming out, I knew I had to try it. Have you guys heard of Pokemon TCG Pocket? It released a month early in New Zealand, so, I was lucky enough to live there, so I'm trying it out. And I have to say, I'm having a ton of fun. It's so exciting to start a game when it's brand new, because you can be most familiar with all the content from day one. Anyways, I was just curious if you guys were planning on trying it out. I would highly recommend it. Apologies for the lengthy voice memo. See you later.
All right. The answer is yes.
Yeah, I'm pre-registered and everything. It comes out in the 30th in the States here. So yeah, I'll give it a try. I didn't really understand what the heck it even was supposed to be until I listened to Steve talk about it on It's Super Effective. And then I'm like, oh, that's weird. It's
awesome.
I don't understand the base concept of it, but it seems like the execution is very good.
What do you mean the base concept? What do you?
The idea is that the appeal is supposed to be you're playing to open digital packs to create a digital collection. Like that's supposed to be the appeal.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't understand that. If I'm going to create a digital collection, why would I not do it on their live client, on the main game client? And obviously the advantage here is that it's like short form games, which is really cool, but they can't be used anywhere else. They don't have any it's only good for this app anyways. So I don't know. It's kind of weird.
So the way that I've looked at it, or the way that I do look at it, not past tense, present tense, the way that I look at it is that PTCGO or what is it now? Is it
live? I think it's PTCG live.
PTCGL.
Yes.
Whatever. That is the competitive scenario, right? That this works as the TCG game works, etc. You can sim your battles here, you can build your decks, you can do all that sort of stuff. Have your own digital collection for sure, but it is limited to some sets. Not every single card ever in existence is there, right? Now with Pocket, I view it as a celebration of the TCG. There's much more of a focus on the art. Yeah, there's the short form games, and it's a different game than the actual card game is right? But that's okay. And it makes it different. It's a collection thing. And if you like looking at the art like I do more than you like playing the game, this is for you.
I guess the barrier in my head is that you buy packs. Yeah. You get free ones, obviously, for logging in daily and stuff like that. But you can spend real money to buy and add to your collection in this app, and it doesn't compute for me.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how
I
you
will
feel.
totally play it though, because I like Pokemon card art as well, and it just seems like it's very well made, and it's made by DNA, same people who made Masters, and I think Masters is a pretty solid game. So
Yep, we love Pokemon card art, and some of that immersive stuff they have going on is
new stuff you can't do otherwise. This is a unique to this app type of thing, which is very cool.
Yes, yeah, very neat, very neat. But that's it for our voicemails. Thank you very much to those of you that sent in voicemails. We've got a couple of emails here as well. This first one here is from Slips Slimely, and they said, "Hi, GOCast, Slips Slimely here. Today, I'd like to give out a general PSA. To those of you who don't use the app, please consider using Campfire. I was a big doubter for a long time. No point when my local community uses Messenger or Discord, right? Well, I first actually installed the app a few community days ago when I learned about the local check-ins for free community day tickets. Recently, I learned about something even greater. Campfire allows us to host raids. I'd initially figured it was a local-only system. Boy, was I wrong. When you host a raid, it actually opens up to remote raiders as well at a far greater distance. Over the past week, I've successfully used my free raid pass every single day by finding a Zacian raid and hosting it in Campfire. Once Campfire queues up 5 players, the app generates a copy-paste that you then go into the raid and paste in the invite bar. This invites all 5 players to your raid, and seems to also automatically add them to your friends list afterwards. Oh, that last part is kind of a bummer.
I like that.
Yeah. Being able to actually use my pass every day has significantly upgraded my in-game quality of life, and I wanted to pass this on in case others didn't know. Thanks for the amazing podcast as always, guys, and a belated happy 300. Well, thank you very much for that. I didn't know that you could host remote raids in Campfire. That makes sense. That's cool. I'd like if it didn't add them as friends after the fact, but that's still pretty neat.
Yeah. How do you accept it? Like if you host it, does it then just put a pop-up for anybody within whatever this extended range is for them?
Yeah, they would have to be looking for that raid in Campfire, and they could sign up for it.
But they can sign up for it even if they're not near it.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
I'll have to give it another try. I mean, I use Campfire very sparingly. Every once in a while I'll hop in just to look to see if there's raids around before I go to a place to see if I want to make a stop or something, but very rarely. It's been a couple of months since I've opened it. Let's just say that. It's going to be time to check in again because they seem to be constantly working on it and making updates. So it's getting there. It wasn't there when it came out. This app is definitely getting there. And people are getting a lot of use out of it. We have a lot of friends that are community ambassadors and they sing its praises. So
yeah, I think the biggest issue that Campfire has at the moment, but it's also since its inception, is adoption.
Yeah.
That's the biggest hurdle Campfire has to get over. And it's because it didn't come out when the game needed it the most.
Yes, absolutely.
So everybody found alternatives, and it's hard to get people to want to change alternatives, even if the other one is good.
Yeah. I mean, it's especially when like the alternatives are these full-fledged programs that have a lot of infrastructure already. Like Discord is literally made for this. You know, it's difficult to program around that or design around that.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for the email, Slip Slimely. Appreciate it.
Last email is from Beta Ski, and they said, Chris, Kyle, hey guys, I'm a day one player who has returned to Go after a several-year hiatus, and I've been playing for almost a year again. I was so excited to find your podcast. It is top-notch, and especially to hear you are coming to my regular event hunting ground at Mall of America.
Yeah.
As a returning player, I'm a little surprised to not see or hear much about Pokemon nests. These were the topic of conversation back in the day and continue to be of significant value in my opinion. However, it seems the normal reporting sites are no longer being used, and I'm struggling to find resources where players are sharing their locations and types of Pokenests. Since I must drive for a decent walk to do daily hunting, I tend to prefer going to a nest that has a mon that I'm farming candy for, because they are uncommon or out of zone spawns, are relatively easy to excellent throw for XP, or I have a high Stardust output just to add that extra value to my walk. I have a list of several parks, usually those with playgrounds that are Pokenests. These nests change every 2 weeks. I tend to spend the first week finding the nest I want to hunt, but then only have 1 week to hunt it. I believe this would be a lot quicker if the community was sharing the location and type of nest, but again, it doesn't seem to be a thing in the community anymore. What did I miss in my hiatus? Do you seek out nests as part of your regular hunting? If so, how do you find them? Love the pod. Keep up the great work. I very much look forward to the meetup. Hopefully my RSVP went through properly. Beta Ski, aka Matthew.
It did. I was just checking today. I saw your name in there, so thank you very much.
This is a great point, especially for me as well. Nests are so ignored, not just by the community, but by Niantic as well.
Yeah.
Like they keep rotating, but let's be real here. They probably only keep rotating because there is an automated system that maintains it and has for years. And the only thing Niantic has to do is either add or remove Pokemon from the list. Like they removed like Staryu from nesting lists or something like that when it got bonus Stardust or whatever. But I know in my area, just the play population has died down. And so not a lot of people were reporting it. They used to update them on the Discord all the time. So
yeah,
I don't know. I would love proper resources for nest management and not have to guess, not have to have your player base guess. Why is this hidden from players in general? You know?
Yeah, they should make it marked in some way or just show up on Campfire or something else like that. I just I don't consider nests, man. Like I know they exist, but I don't plan around them. My play is almost always like, okay, I have time for a walk. What I see is what I'm going to see, right? Because I can only walk across the street or whatever. But I play in events, and so I'm not really looking for nests because I'm doing the event spawns or the event tasks, right? So I don't know. They just don't line up with my play style.
Yeah, and that's fair. That's fair.
But I do have to agree. It does seem like nobody talks about them whatsoever. And they used to, and every once in a while, like if I go to a park during like a non-event day and I notice the nesting species and it's like Scyther or something cool, I definitely am like, oh, wow, look, it's a nest. Like, wow, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, I should come back tomorrow and do this. And I never do, but I do think about it.
The park that I play community day at most of the time is a nest, but I don't ever see the nesting species because I'm always there on community day.
Right, exactly. You're like, a nesting species is everywhere on community day, man.
And the problem is that like 85% of nesting Pokemon are trash. They're just bad Pokemon that you see anywhere ever anyways.
Yeah.
And then it's the 10% that are really good. So if you only have like 3 nests near you, I don't even want to go check them because the odds of them being useful are
slim.
So
yeah.
But also, if you don't have someone to tell you, how do you know it's a nest? Like, I mean, how do you know you didn't just get lucky? How do you know you just didn't find 5 of the same Pokemon? Because you're not staying around for a second loop. You know, I can find 5 Pidgey outside my door. Does that mean it's a Pidgey nest? No.
If you are in a space that is so small that you can't get a good sample size in, then it's probably not a nest.
But like the park that I go to is not very big. Like it's a medium size, but if you don't count the parking lot, I don't know. It'd be hard to get a feel for it if I didn't already know that it was a nest to start with.
When you cross that bridge and you go to like the other like bigger park side, is that not part of it? Okay. Right. Interesting. Huh.
It's only, I know that they're denoted by parks. So if it's not dark green on the map, it can't be a nest, I believe is my understanding. Somebody please correct me. Write in if you know these details. I would love to know it in a more digestible fashion.
Me too. Yeah.
So if it's not dark green, it can't be a nest. But if it's dark green, it's not guaranteed to be a nest. You know, it's a square rectangle scenario.
Yeah, I was about to say it's correct. Yeah, that's a good analogy. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, thanks for bringing it up. I mean, I haven't thought about nests in such a long time. Like, geez, forgot about them. Good point. Anyway, thank you very much to those of you that wrote in and called in. If you, dear listener, would like to send us an email, you can by sending it to mail@gocastpodcast.com. You can also leave us a voicemail, again, by calling 262-586-7717, or you can do, as several other people have, send an audio file via email. Actually, one of the files I received this week was a video file that I had to convert to audio, which is fine. By the way, no big deal. I know what I'm doing. So yeah, send whatever you want, more or less. Just don't make it over 3 minutes, because then I'll be like, I don't know. Follow us on X at GoCast Podcast. Go to our website for all things GoCast at GoCastPodcast.com. You can help support the show at Patreon. That's spelled Patreon.com/GoCast Podcast for as little as $1 a month. And that gets you access to our patron exclusive Discord. That's the word I'm looking for. And speaking of patrons, big shout out to our Elite Trainer tier patrons. Kyle, I think it's your turn this week.
It is.
All right.
Shout out to Elite Trainers Bo, Daniel, Lori, Michael, Ozzy, Arkham, Marvin, and Mimi Sports, Thayer, Jason, Justin, Charles, Motters, Lee, William, Brandon, Ethan, Steven, Nick, our favorite listener, Drew 2, Camo, The Ugly Rock, Jacob, Victoria, Sarah Laura, Memoir Randoms, Nabil, Tish, Jacob, Matthew, Don, John Paul, and Mika.
I think it's Micah.
Micah? Okay, Micah.
Yeah, that's all right. You still made it. That was awesome. You nailed it. All right. Well, thank you very much to our Elite Trainer tier patrons, like Kyle just said, for helping us keep the digital lights on, for your generous support of the show and all that good stuff. Thank you. If you'd like to help support the show in another way, in addition to that, or if money's just not in the cards for you, please feel free. We would love for you to leave us a review. It helps us out in a big way. Discoverability, all that good stuff. We have four reviews this week to share with y'all. This first one is from Dogman in Chief. They said, amazing podcast. I love it. This next one is from Box Story 5680. Good Pokemon podcast. This is amazing. I love Pokemon so much. My name in Pokemon Go is Wizardy Gum Gum. That's a great name. Love it. This next one is from Twister941. And they said, best Pokemon podcast out there. The absolute best Pokemon for everything Pokemon Go related, and the easiest listening you can experience as well. I look forward to the new podcast every week, and my favorite thing is my favorite thing to listen to on the way to work. You always feel like part of the discussion and highly recommend it to everyone. Oh, thank you very, very much. Appreciate that. And this last one is from Cody182, and they said, Go for all. It's 102 out, and it's October 1st. Why?
Yeah.
Chris is great, and Kyle's okay. Okay. Go listen, because they say cool stuff, and I enjoy cool stuff 100%. Nice. In my head, I see that as the 100 emoji. That's, yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, please leave us a review. We'd love it. 5 stars are great, but hey, do what you can. As many stars as you can afford to put. It's stuff out there. Okay, we got to set some goals, and then we're out of here. The Sawaddle await us, Kyle. So what are you looking to do?
I want 6 shiny Sawaddle. We're gonna go get that knocked out. I'm gonna do a Dynamax Phalanx while I'm out. Hopefully, just kind of see the challenge. I don't care about getting a Phalanx itself. So
yeah.
And 400,000 experience because it's a egg day, so I don't care.
Sure is, buddy.
No eggs.
Real quick, we should say about Dynamax, by the way, that we've received several emails and people have commented and stuff. Okay, yes, for the Dynamax medallion things that pop up on your screen, you have to dodge your Pokemon into them to collect them. Yeah. We know. We've been told. We've been educated. Thank you very much.
Saw the post online and was very embarrassed, but also not. It was not made very clear.
It was not.
I'm sure there was a text box that told me the instructions, and I clicked past it and didn't read it.
Well, you know what? I don't know how to read, Kyle. So whatever. My goals are 10 shiny Sawaddle, kind of low because I wasn't sure how long we were going to go. I'm going to try to go for 20, but 10's my goal officially on paper. 100 eggs because I got a good amount already from this Vegas trip I went on. So hopefully I can knock out more today with the quarter hatch distance and, or is it half? Whatever it is. 2 more Dynamax Phalanx. I got 1. I'd like to get another 2 to see if I could roll even better. Kyle's off to a great first try. He's off to a great start. He already got a shiny Sawaddle. You're making me jealous. All right, let's wrap it up. Thanks everybody for listening. We appreciate you. Go listen to PvP Corner. We're still working on that Star Piece episode, and go give Monster Hunter Nowcast a try, hosted by Sarah Manda and Maxitron. They are pumping out the episodes, doing like 2 a week. I still have to put up episode 8. They just put up last night for me to edit. So that'll be up soon. Okay. Yeah, they're killing it. So go support all those shows and our friends and stuff. That'd be great. And we'll see you next week for episode 303. Bye-bye.
Bye.